In 10 lines of code, you'll be able to talk to an AI model using the OpenAI API in Python. And stick to the end of this video because you're gonna build a content idea generator for a landing page using the skills that you learn in this video. So this has really cool real-world applications, and I'm really excited. I hope you are too. Let's get into it. Before we get started, I highly recommend you guys check out the GitHub repo in the description below so that you guys can follow along with the code. And with that being said, let's move on to the first step, which is creating the virtual environment. And to do that, we're going to say Python or py 3.13 -m venv and venv. You're going to do this in your terminal. I've already created the virtual environment, so I'm actually not going to run this command. The reason why we're doing Python 3.13 is that it supports the OpenAI package that we're going to use. It might be different for you depending on when you're watching this video, so make sure to change that version to the most recent version on your end. So after you do that, it should create a virtual environment. The reason we do this is because then we're able to install the packages that we want. And it's really good practice to do this every time we start a project. And if you look at over here, this contains the two packages that we need for this video. It's OpenAI and python.env, which you're going to see how we're going to use later on. So I want you guys to first, after you guys create the virtual environment, I want you guys to do Control-Shift-P, and then it's going to open this tab where you can select the interpreter. And then over here, you should select the virtual environment that you just created. And in my case, I already created mine. So once you select the virtual environment that you want, and this is the one for me, then it should, in your terminal, you should see something that says something like venv. Once you see that in your terminal, you know that you're inside the virtual environment, ready to install the packages. And so installing the packages is going to be our next step. So like I said before, here we have our packages, and then we're going to say, to install these, we're going to say pip install -r and then requirements.txt. And because I already have them, it doesn't really affect me. But once you do that on your end, you'll be able to see that you have access to these packages in your local computer or your virtual environment. And now in this main.py file, I'm going to import all the packages that we just installed. So I'm going to say from OpenAI, import OpenAI, and then from .env, import load.env. And you're going to see how these two packages work later on in this video. So first we're going to say load and then .env. I'm going to explain what this means just in a second. And then to create an instance of a client that we're going to use to make the API calls, I want to say OpenAI is equal to OpenAI. Alright, just a disclaimer, you're going to have to create an API key for this video. And to do that, I'm over here on this platform.openai.com website. I'll put in the link in the description below, but you need to create a new secret key and then type it whatever you want and then create the key. It's going to give you the API key or the secret key value that I'm going to show you how to put into your file. After you create your API key, you're going to create a file called .env, and over here you want to put in OpenAI _API _key and set that equal to whatever API key that it generated for you. And for obvious reasons, I deleted my API key just before recording this so that you guys wouldn't be able to see it. And make sure to create a .gitignore file and store the .env file in that file as well as this one, because that way you won't be able to, whenever you make a git commit, it will not commit your API key onto your repo. Okay, I know you guys have been waiting for a while now, so we're finally done with the setup and we're ready to make our first API call to an AI model. So let's get right into it. What we did here with this load.env file was that we were able to load in our variables from the .env file, which contains our API key. Now our Python file contains the API key, which is a really good thing because we're able to, it gives us access to talk to the AI model. I'm going to say response is equal to openai.chat.completions.create. And this is the chat completions API. And basically, this method contains two parameters, or two required parameters at least. The first one is called model. And here we pass in the name of our LLM, or large language model, that we want to talk to. And so for me, I'm going to say GPT 4.1 mini, because that's a small model that's still pretty effective, and it doesn't cost as much as the more premium ones like GPT 5.5. You can try the more premium ones out. I'm sure you guys are going to get a better answer than I will. Anyways, moving on to the second parameter, it is going to be the messages. And this is going to contain a little bit more information. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. So for now, I'm going to put a pause and just say placeholder. So this response variable makes the API call to GPT 4.1 mini, and it takes in the user input, which I'll show you later, and we're able to print out whatever the model's output is by saying print response dot choices dot and 0 dot message dot content. And the reason why we have so much of this is because this response variable is actually a JSON object, and I'm not going to print it out in this video, but you can print it out yourself. If you just say print response, it's going to be a long list of information. And so if we only want to get the text response or the text output from GPT 4.1 mini, then we have to drill down on that JSON object. So this is what we have to do. I know that this might seem like a lot, but once you start making a lot of these API calls, it's going to feel pretty repetitive. Okay, now I'm going to talk about what we need to put inside this messages parameter for our response variable. So the messages parameter takes in two main components. The first one is the system prompt, and the second component is the user prompt. And you can see here that I've created two string values assigned to both the system prompt and the user prompt. What a system prompt is that it's describing the persona of the AI model before it's able to see what the user says. So you can think of it as assigning it a role. And in this case, we've assigned it the role of being an expert Python developer that's going to help beginners learn programming. For the user prompt, think of it as whatever the user types into or whatever text it provides to the AI model. So, for example, if you've worked with something called chatgpt before, whenever you type something in that message box and then you click enter, whatever you typed in is the user prompt. And so in this case, we're creating a user prompt that says, explain what a Python variable is in one sentence. So having this system prompt and user prompt is very helpful. The system prompt is not required, but the user prompt is required because we need some prompt that the model can process. The reason why I highly recommend having both is because this maximizes the quality of our output, because we're assigning the model a role. And so we're giving it more information on what it needs to do. And the more information we're able to provide to our model, the better off we're going to be. So hopefully that makes sense. That was a lot of information. Now we're going to pass in the system prompt and the user prompt into this messages parameter. And the way we do that is we do something by creating a list of dictionaries. So what we're going to say is we're going to put in one dictionary and another dictionary. I'm going to say role, and this one's going to be system, and then the content is going to be the system prompt. And then for the second dictionary, the role is going to be the user. The content is going to be the user prompt. Now, this response variable is going to be able to talk to our GPT 4.1 mini model, and we're going to assign it the role based on whatever we gave to system prompt. And then the model is going to look at what the user said. In this case, that's a user prompt. And it's going to respond to this prompt. So explain what a Python variable is in one sentence. Let's see what this comes out with. I'm going to save, and then I'm going to say, inside a virtual environment, I'm going to say python min.py. It's going to take a while to load, so I'm going to pause this video and then show you the output later. Alright, that was actually pretty quick. So it says a Python variable is a name that you use to store and keep track of data values in your program. So that's actually really cool, and I hope you see how cool and how powerful the OpenAI package is. I highly encourage you guys to play around with these prompts and see what the AI model gives you, because there's so many use cases that you can do with this. Speaking of use cases, I've written the code for a landing page content idea generator, and this is very useful because a landing page is very helpful for a business because it attracts more people, more sales, and it overall increases their reputation because they have something that they can where they can showcase all their products that they sell. So having something like this where you can brainstorm ideas and get started somewhere can be really helpful for people that are in the starting phase of a business. So over here we can see that we have multiple input statements where we ask for the user's product name, target audience, main problem, main benefit, and tone to get as much information as possible. And this input method allows this program to be interactive. And then we have the system prompt, which, like I said before, is going to describe the persona of the AI model. So in this case, it's going to be a landing page copywriting assistant. And you can see how long this prompt is because we want to be very deliberate with how we're giving the information, how we're feeding it to the model. So we're very specific. We want it a hero headline, a short sub headline, and 3 key benefits, 3 feature bullet points, 1 call to action button, and 3 FAQ question and answers. And this is also something useful. I'll talk about this in another video, but it describes the tone of the AI model. So we want to keep it simple and friendly. And then this user prompt is the prompt that is coming from the user and it's guiding the model's response. So we want it to generate the landing page content for the product, and then we're going to pass in some F strings, and I'll also talk about this in the next video in the playlist. So we're going to pass in the product name, target audience, main problem, main benefit, and tone using the variables that we created with the input methods. So it's really cool stuff. Hopefully you're finding this interesting, and I want you to pause this video and tell me how we can make an API call to the GPT model. Because right now there's no AI involved in this. There's no API call yet. So do you remember what method we used to make the API call? And if you forgot, then you guys can go back to where we talked about this. Okay, so to make the API call, it's actually very straightforward. We can copy and paste whatever we typed in here because the API call itself is identical. It's just the information and context that we gave the model that's different. So we're going to do that, and then we're also going to do the same print statement to get the response from the model. If you have any questions so far, I highly recommend you guys put them down in the comments below, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. So I'm gonna save that and then run it, python main.py. So it says, okay, this is from the previous exercise we did. So I'm just gonna focus on this part. Our product name, let's say we just call it, I don't know, like pickleball paddle. And okay, so now that we have we inputted all the variables that it asked us, the model's gonna think, and it's going to give us the content that we want, the response. So let's see over here. So just by looking at this, I would say that it is a little bit generic, but for a first pass, it is pretty good. I feel like this would, if I was actually someone making this kind of landing page, this would give me a good starting point. And I feel like that's a really cool thing about these LLMs. They're able to give you good inspiration to get started somewhere. All right, I know that was a lot of information, and hopefully you found the value of the system prompt and the user prompt and making the API call to the AI model. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something new, and make sure to stay tuned for the next video in this playlist that's gonna go a little bit more in depth in what we just covered in terms of API calls and the models that we used. So check out these videos if you're interested, and hope to see you in one of those.